Welcome to week 1 of pistol progression. So there's a couple of things we need to go through first before we actually get into pistol work. The one is making sure we have the mobility for the movement. 2 is making sure we have the strength. Right, so we're going to check out mobility first because there's no point having the strength if we don't have the mobility. Right, so 1, to make sure you have the hip range, you need to be able to have a good solid squatting position. So that is making sure our hip crease goes below our knee crease, nice and comfortably. If we're kind of stuck here, it's going to be very hard to get into a pistol position, so we need to work on our hips first. Right? Second, we need to make sure we've got good ankle range. Right? Now, this can be tested a couple of different ways, and you can kind of get around it a little bit, but making sure our heel can be on the ground and we can comfortably get our knee over our toe. Right? If we're stuck back here, that's something we need to work on by grabbing a kettlebell, pushing it on top of our quad there and our knee, and driving that knee forward, and just trying to work on that dorsiflexion. Right? So there's a lot more other mobility things that can come into it, but first you do need to make sure you've got a decent squat and decent ankle range of motion. The next part would be strength. All right, so this isn't a gold standard or anything like that. This is something I've just kind of played around with and figured out. So I feel like you need to be able to lunge 75% of your body weight. That's each leg. And we're going to do that 4 reps, so 2 each side. So what you're going to do is have a barbell on your back. You're going to step forward, get your knee to touch the ground, and bring your front foot to meet your back foot. Right now, some of us right now might not have barbells or access to that, but you might be able to assume that you can lunge. Maybe 75% of your body weight is 60 kilos, and you know you've lunged 50 kilos before and it's pretty comfortable, so you can just tick that box and know you've got that strength. That's going to be our first step to make sure we have the positions. What you can do from there, if already you know you've got those positions, you've got the range of motion, you've got the strength. So while holding onto that pole, you're going to sit in your pistol, so your hammies on your calf, your other foot's off the ground. You're going to hang out and make sure your knee is over your toe, so your knee isn't collapsed in. You're going to hang out there and stand up. Right? So I want you to spend some time in that bottom position and spend some time slowly standing up. Don't rush that. Use the pole to hold on. Use the rest of this time while we're working on our pistols just to create some muscle awareness of where we need to go. And when we come into it next week, we'll have a few more movements for you to do there. If mobility is your weakness for your pistols, all right, I'm going to show you 2 exercises, to work on both. All right. First exercise, you're going to grab a heavy kettlebell and you're going to squat and hold, and you're just going to sit here. Right? Use your elbows to drive your knees out and let that weight drive you down into the bottom of your squat. You're going to accumulate 5 minutes. All right? You want to be able to do that 5 minutes unbroken eventually. That's going to loosen up hips and ankles. Now, if we need to attack those ankles a little bit more, you're going to grab that kettlebell, pop it on top of your thigh. You're going to bring your other knee up beside your foot and drive your knee over your toe, and using this weight to drive that knee forward. Right, nice and simple there. That's going to give us a bit more ankle range of motion. Spend some good quality time doing those 2 movements a couple of times a week, and you'll see some progress with your hip and ankle mobility. If strength is your biggest weakness towards your pistols, right, we're going to do some lunges. And what you want to work on is doing sets of 10. When you can complete a set of 10 comfortably at that weight, you'll increase the loading. So, what you'll do, hands on your barbell, back racket, step back. You're going to step forward till that back knee touches the ground, and bring your front foot to meet your back foot. I have 25 kilos on the bar then, so I can do a set of 10 on that. So from there, I would add more weight, go to 35 kilos until I'm able to lunge 75% of my body weight for a good amount of reps.